Hey everybody, Jeff Schneider here. I'm back after a long hiatus. I had my second kid, my baby girl, in January, so it's been a whirlwind, but all is well. We're going to kick off with an analysis of D'Angelo's Really Love off of his latest record, Black Messiah. It's a great tune. It's got an incredible string introduction that we're not going to cover today, but if you guys are interested in that, we can look into it. This video is going to cover the main section, which starts at around 2 minutes and 6 seconds or so. So I'm going to play through each line at a time, talk about the chords. I'm going to try to sing through some of this stuff and hopefully not do your ears too much damage. So here we go. So first of all, we're in the key of E minor, G major. We start on an E minor chord. We do make it to G major. Remember, those keys are related to one another. The G major and the E minor are relatives. So the relative minor of G major is E, and the relative major of E minor is G. It's the same notes if you just look at the scale. G major scale, E minor scale. So I'll probably pivot back and forth between these two keys in terms of how I'm explaining the theory, but we're going to start on an E minor chord. Let's think of this E minor in the context of G major, which means it's the sixth chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. E is the sixth note of the scale. So here's the first four chords with the lyrics.
When you call my name, when you love me gently.
So if you notice, I'm using 3 notes per voicing here, which keeps it really simple. So you guys who aren't that strong on piano yet, you can jump right in on this. The E minor 7 chord, which is the one we start off with, we're going to play the root in the left hand, and then the 7 and the third in the right hand. And then we're going to go to A minor 7. Now the A minor 7 is the 2 chord. So if E minor 7, the first chord, if that's the 6 in the context of G major, A minor 7 is the 2. And then we're going to go to 5, which is D7. And notice 3 notes here in the voicing. In the left hand we have D, that's the root. Then the 7 is C natural, followed by F sharp is the third there of D7. And then finally we resolve to G major 7. Now notice the voice leading here that I'm using. My fingers are not moving much at all. This is a really important thing to keep in mind as you are voicing any kinds of chords, but especially with these 3-note voicings, it's really easy to just move 1 note at a time to get to the next chord, especially in these types of chord progressions. Now, when I say these types of chord progressions, what I mean here is we're going around the circle of fourths or the circle of fifths. So if you notice here, if I just play the roots, and now instead of jumping around direction, I'm just going to go up, and check this out. That's a fourth, another fourth, and another fourth. We're just going around the circle. These are diatonic chords, meaning all of these chords exist within the key of G major. Nothing funky here, although this track is super funky. So we end up on the 1 chord, and to get there we do 6, 2, 5, 1. All right, then we're going to go to a chord that is very specific to E minor. We're going to go to B7. And here I'm going to play a 4-note voicing, although you could play the 3-note voicing. By the way, the 3-note voicing is the root in the left hand, third and 7 in the right, if you haven't caught on to that already. But that B7 right there is going to set us up to land on E minor again in a really smooth way. This is called a secondary dominant chord because I'm playing the 5 of 6. So here's the whole thing with lyrics up until that point.
When you call my name, when you love me gently, when you're walking near me.
Okay, there's the E minor. Then we're going to do a 2-5-1 to G major.
I'm in really love with you.
So that was a 2-5-1. A minor 7, D7, G major 7. And then we're going to do another 2-5-1, except it's going to be a 2-5-1 where 1 is actually E minor. So we're going to do a minor 2-5-1 to E minor. Let me break it down chord by chord. Here's F sharp, minor 7 flat 5, going to B7, going to E minor 7. A few different ways you can play this. We can do it like this. F sharp minor 7 flat 5, going to B7. I kind of like that, going up in the melody of that voice leading. So when I say we're going to do a minor 2-5-1, what I'm talking about is the 1 chord being minor. Now that's different from a major 2-5-1 The major 2-5-1, obviously, we're going to a major chord, but the actual chord qualities are slightly different, namely the 2 chord. So in a minor 2-5-1, the 2 chord is a half diminished chord, or a minor 7 flat 5 chord, like this F sharp minor 7 flat 5. The 5 chord is dominant 7, going to the 1 chord, in this case minor 7. Now, when I do a 2-5-1 to a major chord like G major, you'll notice the 2 chord is just a regular minor 7 chord, no flat 5. It's not half diminished. Okay, let's do the whole thing up until that point.
When you call my name, when you love me gently, when you're walking near me, well, I'm in really love with you. I'm in really love with you.
So that second 2-5-1, the one to the E minor, that's faster than the one to the G major. I'll play it just the chords so you can hear what the harmonic rhythm sounds like. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the harmonic rhythm speeds up a little bit at the end of that phrase. Now, the second part of the main section here is almost exactly the same as the first part, but the ending differs just slightly. We actually do that 2-5-1 to the G major twice in a row. So I will play, I'll play up until that point and we'll kind of break it down what's happening there.
When you look at me, I open up instantly, fall in love so quickly. I'm in really love with you. I'm in really love with you. I'm in really love with you.
So did you hear that repetition of the 2-5-1 going to G major? There's actually a 2-4 bar in there. Let me play just the chords again so you can hear it. This is from the beginning of the second verse. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Did you catch the 2-4 bar in there? Meaning 2 beats in that 1 bar as opposed to 4. It sounds really natural, which is a testament to both the writing and, of course, the great band that's playing this track. Before I go, I want to give you guys a bonus chord. It's more of an alteration, really, on that D7. Whenever you have that D7, especially at the end when it has the when you have the 2-5-1, instead of playing just a regular D7, you can add some extensions on there, like D13 flat 9. It's a little jazzy, but it's spicy too. So here's how it sounds in context.
When you call my name, when you love me gently, when you're walking near me. I'm in really love with you.
Did you catch it? Then you can end on a G major 9 or something like that. Anyway, this track is pretty basic in terms of the harmony, but really effective chords using those intervals of a fourth, meaning going around the circle of fourths or the circle of fifths, depending on which way you're going. It's a great track off that album. I know many of you guys have heard it before, but it's always worth a re-listen, especially now that you understand how the harmony works. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any requests for future analyses, I suppose, feel free to leave them down in the comments. Until then, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and I'll see you in the next one.